my beautiful people, and welcome to the first video of 2024 that is not a vlog. I am going to try and do more sit down videos with you guys. It's something that I am not particularly good at. I feel a bit weird doing it. Vlogging I'm absolutely fine, but sit down videos for some reason I'm really weird with them. But this year I want to try and be better at them. But this video is a very exciting one. This one is for my best books of 2023 and the books that I didn't love so much in 2023. So let's start with the positive because it is a new year, and let's keep it fresh, let's keep it exciting, let's keep it positive. It was very difficult to try and figure out which books that I really loved because I read 67 books this year, and there was a lot of 5 stars and there was a lot of 4 stars, but there was also a lot of 3 stars. Nothing was lower than a 3 star if I remember correctly, so that is quite impressive. I seem to be reading books that I am going to enjoy, so I'm picking ones that do pique my interest and I am enjoying, but then there is some that are slipping through the cracks that ain't so great. Now, 3 stars is not a terrible rating, it just means that I wasn't that thrilled by it, I didn't love it that much. A 5-star read for me is something that stays with me, absolutely love it, the pages keep on turning and I devour the book so quickly. A 4-star is I thought it was really good, I liked how it was written, I really enjoyed it, but there was just something missing for me and I can't quite put my finger on it, or sometimes I can put my finger on it. But yeah, so that's kind of how my ratings are. 2 stars are generally books where I'm like, I absolutely hated it. I have basically read as much to the end as I can because I need to get it finished, because I struggle a little bit to DNF, but this year I'm going to try harder to DNF because what is the point of reading books that you're not enjoying? So I have a little pile on my lap and I'm going to just start with a book that took me by surprise. It kind of was absolutely everywhere for the majority of the year and I kept putting off buying it, and then I eventually bought it and read it pretty much as soon as I bought it, and I absolutely devoured it. And it's Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow, and as you can see I really tabbed this one. This is about 2 characters, Sam and Sadie, who meet each other when they're younger in a hospital. One of them is in hospital, the other one is in hospital visiting someone else, and it basically just follows them throughout their lives and their friendship together and how they've kind of been friends and all the things that go along with it. This had really good chronic pain representation, which you don't really tend to see much in books. So for someone that suffers from chronic pain, it was actually really good to see that representation, and done so well. I really felt for the characters in this. There was a lot that kind of happened and absolutely adored it. And I still think about this book to this day, and I probably will reread this at some point. I've no idea when, but there must be at least like 40 odd tabs in here. So as you can tell, I did really enjoy it. So this, I think, is quite high up there on my list. I don't think I have like a favourite of the year, but this is definitely my top 3. I know that much. So that was a nice positive one. Then I had a book that took me by absolute surprise, and it's The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald. I am not a classics reader predominantly. Last year I tried to do a little bit of classics reading and I actually surprised myself. And The Great Gatsby, I thought the start of it was very slow and I didn't really think I was going to enjoy it. And as it kind of progressed, the story, I really felt for the characters and I just loved the sort of way it built up and delivered, and gave it 5 stars. Loved it. I now own about 5 or 6 copies of this one, so I feel like I'm now collecting editions of The Great Gatsby. So it's not just Dracula anymore. Then this is another firm favourite, which is Lonely Castle in the Mirror. I haven't actually tabbed this one as much as I thought I would have. But this is a beautiful story about a young girl who basically doesn't want to go to school for certain reasons, and something magical happens. They end up at a castle, and I'm not going to go too much into it because it kind of spoils it for you, but it is a coming of age kind of story and it deals with some issues that are quite sensitive, and it's just beautifully done, but it is so magical and whimsical, and it's just a nice cozy read, and absolutely loved it. It'd been sitting on my shelves for way too long, and one day I was just like, I need to pick this book up and read it, and I'm so glad I did, because it was beautiful. So if you're looking for something that's nice, cozy, also a very beautifully well made book, this is the one for you. I have to mention here, I wasn't going to mention it, but I did love them, so I'm going to just pick them up. Wait till I pop these ones down. Wasn't going to mention them, but this is the year that I did read Crescent City. I actually read it in paperback, and then Danny gifted me this. So thank you very much, Danny, because I do have the hardcover of the second one. This one is tabbed. These. What can I say about these? Well, I loved A Court of Thorns and Roses. If you've been here for a while, you'll know that I absolutely loved them. And I had like a whole battle with myself about what character I loved in the first book, and then how it shot me in the foot in the second book. But this is an urban fantasy. I believe it's an adult one, and it follows the main character Bryce and basically her journey. And quite early on in the first one, in Crescent City, there is something that just blew my mind. It was Sarah J Maas punched us in the stomach like so quickly in the first one, and I just couldn't believe that she would do that to us. But she does like pain and heartbreak and bringing it upon us, so it does make sense that she would do it. But absolutely enjoyed this, binged it so quickly, and then devoured the second one, and I've been patiently waiting for the third one, and guess what, the third one is out soon, so I cannot wait to read it. I loved this series more than I loved A Court of Thorns and Roses, and I absolutely loved A Court of Thorns and Roses, so I thought they had to have a little mention, but I didn't want to go too hard on being a Sarah J Maas girly, but here we are. I'm not sad about it. So that was kind of like very firm favourites of the year of 2023. And then I had some that I just wasn't really loving. And unfortunately, two of them were actually book club picks for the year of 2023. So I started a book club on my YouTube channel last year called the Society of Spines. And every month we read a different book. Just the same as every other book club, but we have had a random mix of things. We don't generally tend to read romance. It seems to be science fiction and like literary fiction. My goodness. But there was two that just were not great, and I'm going to go into them. I popped them on the floor, so I'm just going to go get them and we're going to discuss them. So the first one, How High We Go in the Dark. Now, both of these have been rated 3 stars, so I did not hate them. This one, I just really didn't understand it. There was a lot going on. There was a lot of different timelines, a lot of different characters. I am not big into lots of different POVs, so that is probably one of the reasons why I didn't enjoy this book as much. Daniel absolutely loved this book. He gave it 5 stars. He really understood it. He really got to the depths and the nitty-gritty of this book, whereas I just wasn't on that level at all. But like I said, it's more down to having multiple POVs. That was my only issue with it. But for me, it just was not something that I'm really going to remember. There's only certain aspects of this book that I remember, and they're quite close to the start of it. There is a storyline in it that's really good, that's based like around a carnival, and I feel like if the book had been all about that and had that storyline, I think I would have actually enjoyed it a lot more. But unfortunately that wasn't the case, and it was only a very small portion of the book, so didn't love it. So that is one of the ones of 2023 that I was not a massive fan of. Then the next one, now don't come at me because I know she has got a lot of followers out there and a lot of people enjoy her stuff, but I just didn't love it. And it was Ruth Ware's The Turn of the Key. Now, I know a lot of people love this book. They totally ate it up. They thought it was really good. They thought it was really thrilling. It was really twisty. I just didn't feel it. I it just lacked something. It just felt like we'd done this before and we knew what we were expecting. We knew what was kind of happen, and it just didn't have that thrill. There was also elements in it that I feel like just didn't need to be in there, but they were in there. And I feel like Ruth Ware was trying to confuse us, which in a thriller that makes sense. You obviously don't want your readers to guess what the plot twist and things is, but it fell very flat for me, and I just didn't feel entirely thrilled by it. So that's why it's kind of ended up down here. So I apologize to all of you that really enjoy Ruth Ware and really love this book, but this was not one for me, unfortunately. And then I think, is there any more here that we could talk about that I've read recently? Probably not. I think generally it's been a pretty good reading year, and there's only a few that just really stood out and just weren't great. I did read on my Kindle Dog Days of Summer. That was a 3-star for me as well. I cannot for the life of me remember who wrote that. That was just a really gross book about 2 girls that grew up and used like really vulgar language and spoke about really disgusting things, and there was lots of conversation about poop for some weird reason. So that one was not one that I loved. It kind of actually grossed me out more than anything else. But yeah, that has been my rundown of the year of 2023. I read 67 books, as I said, and I read a multitude of different genres this year, so I was quite proud of myself. And then for the year of 2024, I've set myself a goal of reading 65 books. I can do it. I do have the potential. Sorry, that was Frankie meowing. I do have the potential to do it because I did it this year. Well, last year, because we're now in 2024, it's going to take a little while to get used to saying 2024, and I'm not in last year, I'm in this year. But anyway, I am rambling now. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video, and I will see you all next time. Bye bye!